Hybridsaurus, the new dominant species by Colton. On the outskirts of Adams, New York. Someone has a secret sitting inside their garage building. There's a prehistoric creature, but once it's released, people must try to survive. Will anyone escape this new dominant species? Thunder rumbles. Lightning flashes in the sky. Rain is falling from the sky then hits a tarp. Elytra Schaefer appears watching a screen. Man number 1 is running then opens the electrical box. Are you sure I should do this now? Especially in the rain? Asked man number 1. Yes, we don't need my creature to escape, said Elytra. It won't escape, ma'am. It's in a high-sealed garage. It doesn't have the strength to do that, said man number 1. A banging sound comes from the wall of the garage building. Man number 1 gets startled then falls onto the ground. Elytra is laughing over the earpiece. Are you all right out there? Asked Elytra. I'm fine, ma'am. Just got a little spooked. My words almost came back to eat me, said man number 1 standing up. Well, finish what you're doing. Then get in here, said Elytra. Will do, ma'am, said man number 1 closing the electrical box then runs a wire towards the wall. What are you doing? Asked Elytra. I'm gonna make sure this thing doesn't get out. So, I'm setting up an electrical barrier, said man number 1. That's why I love you. For your intelligence, said Elytra. I thought it was for my looks, said man number 1. Elytra starts laughing again. How many women can't resist you? Asked Elytra. Man number 1 sets up a ladder then climbs up it. The wire gets placed onto the ledge of the garage building. All right, I'm done, ma'am, said man number 1. All right, what now? Asked Elytra. I need to press the red button, said man number 1. All right, I'll wait until you're away from it. For your safety, said Elytra. All right, said man number 1 starting to climb down the ladder. Another banging sound comes from inside of the garage building. The creature seems a little agitated, said Elytra. It definitely does. The banging on the inside of the garage building continues. The garage building wall starts denting. The banging inside of the garage building gets louder. The garage building wall breaks. A dark figure appears then it roars. Man number 1 screams. The dark figure bites man number 1. No, yelled Elytra pushing the red button. The dark figure gets an electrical shock then goes back inside of the garage building. Elytra is staring at the screen, falls to the floor then she starts crying. Watertown, New York. Brandon Schenk appears laying in his bed. Footsteps are approaching. Brett Schenk appears. Hey Brandon, wake up, said Brett throwing clothes onto Brandon. Brandon wakes up. Hey, I'm sleeping here, said Brandon. Yeah, and you have a job interview this morning. Don't you remember the one I set up for you? Asked Brett. Oh yeah, I thought I set my alarm. I guess not, said Brandon sitting up in his bed. Well come on, the job interview is at 9. And it's already 8, said Brett. Don't worry, I'm coming, said Brandon getting out of his bed. A car appears driving then it parks. The driver door opens then shuts. Brandon walks into the building. Mr. Schenk, said woman number 1 appearing. Yes, where do I go for my interview? Asked Brandon. This way, please, said woman number 1. Both Brandon and woman number 1 are walking away. An office door opens. Claire Saunders appears. Oh, Mr. Schenk, please come in, said Claire. Miss Saunders? Asked Brandon. Yes sir, welcome to Saunders Inc. Now, why should I hire you? Asked Claire. Well, I'm a hard worker. I arrive on time or earlier if you want me to. I get along with people, said Brandon. Well, those sound like qualifications. Only one thing. I might have another job for you. It's a long drive, but you could stay at the house. The person is looking for a security guard in Adams, New York. And I think you're the man for the job, said Claire. Why would I drive over 5 hours for this job? Asked Brandon. Because the pay is $1,000, said Claire. Just $1,000. I think I could find a better job than that, said Brandon. You misunderstood me, Mr. Schenk. It's $1,000 a day. If I was you, I'd take it, said Claire. Brandon's car appears driving, it stops then turns off. The apartment door opens. Brett appears sitting on the couch. Hey Brandon, how was your day? Asked Brett. Great, yours? Asked Brandon. Horrible, but I want to hear about your job interview. Did you get the job? Asked Brett. No, I didn't get the job, said Brandon. Brandon, what did you say? Asked Brett. Everything you told me to say, said Brandon. And you didn't get the job. Sorry about that, man, said Brett. It's all right, but I did get a job request though, said Brandon. What are you talking about? Asked Brett. Someone in Watertown, New York is looking for a security guard, said Brandon. That's a 5-hour drive, said Brett. I know, it's insane, right? But I'm thinking about it, said Brandon. Why? What benefits you? Asked Brett. $1,000, said Brandon. Only $1,000. That's a screening, said Brett. $1,000 a day, said Brakes. Geez, if you don't take it. I will, said Brett. Miss Saunders said the same thing, said Brandon, smiling. Both Brandon and Brett raise their beers. The glass clicks together. Brandon's car is driving. Elytra's house appears. Brandon's car stops. Is this the address? Asked Brett. Brandon looks at the piece of paper. Yeah, 117 4th Street. This is it, said Brandon. Brandon's car pulls up to the gate. Daniel Shires appears approaching the car. Yes, how may I help you? Asked Daniel. I'm Brandon Schenk, I'm here for a job interview, said Brandon. May I see your license, please? It's just a precaution, said Daniel. Brandon pulls out his wallet, then hands it to Daniel. Daniel looks at Brandon's license, at him, then hands his wallet back to him. May I see yours too, please? Asked Daniel. Brett pulls out his wallet, then hands it to Daniel. Daniel looks at Brett's license, at him, then hands it back to him. All right, after the gate opens. Please drive around back, then head into the house. Miss Schaefer will greet you, said Daniel. Thank you, sir, said Brandon. The gate opens. Brandon's car drives through the gate, then it parks. The engine turns off. All right, I'll wait here, said Brett. All right, let's hope I get the job, said Brandon. The driver door opens, then shuts. Brandon walks towards the house. Knocking on the back door. The back door opens. Jasmine Santiago appears. Yes, may I help you? Asked Jasmine. Yeah, I'm Brandon Schenk. I have an interview with Miss Schaefer, said Brandon. All right, follow me, please, said Jasmine. Both Brandon and Jasmine are walking. The office door opens. Elytra appears sitting behind her desk. Hello, Jasmine, said Elytra. Hi, this is Brandon Schenk. He said, he has an interview, said Jasmine. Oh, come on in, Mr. Schenk. I'm Miss Schaefer. But call me, Elytra, said Elytra. Hi, Elytra, said Brandon. Jasmine walks out of the office. The office door shuts. Sorry, I work at home. To keep an eye on my stuff, said Elytra. I understand, said Brandon. Now, Brandon, for this job. It's only a security guard position. So, you'll be staying here. Now there's no questions or anything like that. I just want to take you around to show you the property, said Elytra. All right, lead the way, Miss Schaefer, said Brandon. Footsteps are walking. The computer lab door opens. Kyle Singer and Megan Schock appear sitting at their computers. Guys, this is Brandon Schenk. I'm taking him around the property, said Elytra. Hi, I'm Kyle Singer, said Kyle. Megan Schock, said Megan. Nice to meet you, said Brandon. This way, Brandon, said Elytra. Be careful out there, Elytra, said Megan. I will, Megan, said Elytra. Brett appears standing next to Brandon's car. Footsteps are approaching. Daniel stops next to Brett. How are you doing? Asked Daniel. Good, yourself? Asked Brett. Good, just on a little break. Got a smoke? Asked Daniel. Yeah. Brett pulls out a pack of cigarettes. Daniel pulls out a cigarette. Here you go, said Brett, lighting the lighter. Daniel puts the cigarette into his mouth. Gotta love lung cancer, said Daniel, smiling. Brett chuckles. Footsteps are walking. Miles Shoemaker and Thomas Slusser appear. Both Elytra and Brandon are approaching both Miles and Thomas. Hey guys, said Elytra. Miss Schaefer, said Miles. Who's your friend? Asked Thomas. Brandon Schenk, these are my 2 weapons experts, said Elytra. Nice to meet you, said Brandon, shaking both Miles's and Thomas's hands. Thinking about working for Miss Schaefer? Asked Miles. Yeah, she's gonna hire me as her security guard, said Brandon. That's great, we need another man here. Besides myself, said Thomas. I heard that, said Kyle over the radio. Brandon looks at the garage building. What's inside the building? Asked Brandon. That's my stuff inside. No one is allowed in, except these 2 and myself, said Elytra. What's inside? Something dangerous or illegal? Asked Brandon, laughing. Elytra looks at Brandon. This ain't no joking matter, Mr. Schenk. But what's inside is something no one has ever seen before. Please follow me to the lab. See ya, guys, said Elytra. Both Elytra and Brandon are walking. The computer lab door opens. What do you think of the property, Brandon? Asked Kyle. Great, Mr. Singer, said Brandon. Good, said Kyle. Get back to the screens, Kyle, said Elytra. Sure thing, ma'am, said Kyle. Both Elytra and Brandon continue walking. The laboratory door opens. Welcome to my lab, said Elytra. You've got a lot of fossils, said Brandon. I like dinosaurs. That's my weak point. It's like, what is your hobby? Asked Elytra. Sleeping, said Brandon laughing. I really want you to be my security guard, Brandon. Just before you accept, I need to show you a video. Everyone needs to know why this position is open, said Elytra sitting in a chair then typing onto a keyboard. No matter what it is. I guarantee I'll accept the job, said Brandon. I'll take you up on that. But, I still need you to know your safety, said Elytra clicking onto a file. A video starts playing. A banging sound. Man number 1 screaming. A dark figure goes back into the garage building. What was that? Asked Brandon. This is why I will ask you again. Do you want the security guard position? Because once you accept it, there's no going back, said Elytra. Brandon looks at Elytra. You got yourself a security guard, Miss Schaefer, said Brandon. I told you to call me, Elytra, said Elytra shaking Brandon's hand. Kyle groans. All right, I need to piss. Tell me if anything happens, said Kyle laughing, standing up then walking away. Megan looks up then starts typing onto the keyboard. Files appear. Typing on the keyboard continues. Numbers and letters appear on the screen. The enter button gets pressed. Both Miles and Thomas appear. A beeping sound. Miles looks at his cell phone. Must be you, said Miles looking at Thomas. Thomas hits Miles with his gun. Miles falls onto the ground. Thomas pulls out some rope then ties Miles's arms together. Both Brett and Daniel are laughing. A beeping sound. A text message. Asked Brett. Sort of, by the way thanks for the cigarette, said Daniel. You're welcome, said Brett. Now this won't seem as bad, said Daniel. What? Asked Brett being punched. Daniel ties Brett's arms together. The toilet flushes. The bathroom door opens. Kyle walks out of the bathroom, he groans then falls onto the floor. Megan appears tying Kyle's arms together. Knocking on the laboratory door. Excuse me, said Elytra walking towards the laboratory door. The laboratory door opens. Thomas points his handgun. Hi Miss Schaefer. Mind if we come in? Asked Thomas. All 6 are walking into the laboratory. Brett, said Brandon. Brett, Kyle and Miles get pushed towards both Elytra and Brandon. What is going on here? Asked Elytra. We're here because of Mr. Anderson. He heard about your thing inside of the garbage building. So, he had us pretend to be workers for you. So, Miss Schaefer, tell me the code to unlock the garage building, said Thomas. I'm not giving you the code, said Elytra. You won't give me the code, said Thomas. No, I won't, said Elytra. Thomas nods his head. Both Daniel and Megan grab Kyle. What are you gonna do? Asked Elytra. Tell me the code, or I will blow his head off, said Thomas pointing his handgun at Kyle's head. No, don't do that, said Elytra. Elytra, don't tell them anything. You listen to me. Don't tell them, said Kyle. What's the code? Asked Thomas. You could save his life. No blood has to be on your hands, said Megan. Don't say one word, said Kyle. Tell me, said Thomas. Elytra looks at Kyle. The handgun cocks. All right, I'll tell you, said Elytra. Thomas looks at Elytra. It's, said Elytra. Kyle stands up then runs into Megan. Megan goes into Daniel. Kyle turns towards Thomas. The handgun fires. Kyle gets shot, he gasps then falls onto the floor. All 4 gasp. Footsteps are approaching. All 6 look up. Jasmine appears. Jasmine, run, said Elytra. Jasmine gasps then she collapses onto the floor. Claire appears. There you guys are, said Claire. Miss Saunders, be careful, said Brandon. Oh Brandon, thanks for the warning but. Thomas hands a second gun to Claire. I'm their leader, said Claire. Mr. Anderson, said Elytra. Yeah, said Claire. Why choose a guy's name? And not a woman's? Asked Brett. You'd be expecting a man. A little twist isn't it? Now, where were we? Asked Claire. They were gonna give us the code, said Thomas. Oh good. The code please, said Claire. Tridonmimus, said Elytra. Thomas nods his head. Megan sits into the chair then types onto the keyboard. I'm in, said Megan. Turn off the electrical barrier. Then open the door, said Claire. A buzzing sound echoes. The electrical barrier disappears. A lock appears. The beeping sound echoes. The door is unlocked, but it won't open, said Megan. It's a regular door. You need to open it manually, said Elytra. Good, now go outside and open the door, said Claire. I'm not opening the door, said Elytra. The handgun cocks. Go open the door, Elytra, said Thomas. All 8 are walking outside of the house then stop. Elytra looks at Claire. Open it, said Claire. Elytra slowly walks towards the garage building door. A banging sound comes from inside of the garage building. Elytra stops. Remember, only tranquilizer darts. I don't want one bullet in this thing, said Claire. The tranquilizer guns are being pulled out then cock. Elytra walks towards the garage building door then reaches for the handle. A loud banging sound comes from inside of the garage building again. Elytra steps backwards. Come on, open it, said Thomas. Do you want to do this? Asked Elytra. She's got a point, said Daniel looking at Thomas. Elytra grabs the handle then opens the garage building door. The tranquilizer guns are being pointed. Where is it? Asked Megan. All right, Megan and Daniel, take a look. Both Daniel and Megan look at Claire. Go, said Claire. Both Daniel and Megan are slowly walking towards the garage building. A snarling sound comes from inside of the garage building. Both Daniel and Megan stop. What the hell was that? Asked Daniel. The ground starts thumping. A Tridonmimus appears walking out of the garage building. Is that a dinosaur? Asked Brett. That ain't no dinosaur, said Brandon. The Tridonmimus stops, stares at the group then it roars. All 8 continue staring at the Tridonmimus. Claire, said Thomas. Shoot that monster, said Claire. The tranquilizer guns continuously firing then the darts start hitting the garage building. The Tridonmimus roars then runs towards the group. Miles moves both Brandon and Brett. All 3 continue firing their tranquilizer guns. Daniel starts running. The Tridonmimus bites Daniel. Daniel screams. The Tridonmimus runs to the front of the house, it stops then looks around. A wailing sound comes from the distance in distance. The Tridonmimus eats Daniel then walks towards the wailing sound. Are you guys all right? Asked Miles helping both Brandon and Brett stand up. Yeah, thanks, said Brett. Elytra, said Brandon. Elytra appears from behind the garage building door. I'm good, said Elytra. The guns are being cocked. All 4 look at all 4 of them. So, looks like your creature's on the loose, said Claire. And whose fault is that? Asked Elytra. Thomas points his handgun towards Elytra's head. Whoa, that's a good idea. But we need her, Tom. We'll need all of them. Just in case, said Claire. What are you gonna do? Asked Elytra. We're gonna capture your creature. Then transport it to my lab. But we better do it fast. It's almost rush hour. And that'll be a lot of destruction and bodies, said Claire. Woman number 2 and kid number 1 are walking towards their car. Yes, I got the report done. Yes, I'm on my way to work now. I just need to drop my kid off at my babysitter's. Then I'll be there. Yes, goodbye, said woman number 2. The ground starts thumping. Mommy, it's a dinosaur, said kid number 1. Sure, there's a dinosaur, said woman number 2 opening the van door then puts kid number 1 into his booster seat. The van door shuts. Woman number 2 turns around. The Tridonmimus roars. Woman number 2 screams. The Tridonmimus bites woman number 2 then eats her. Kid number 1 is watching out the van window. Mommy, said kid number 1. The van slides down the road. The Tridonmimus steps onto the van then walks away. Blood is seeping from underneath the van. A truck appears driving. Are you sure those darts are gonna work on that thing? Asked Miles. Of course they will. These darts can take down the biggest animal on this plant, said Megan. You better hope. Because this thing isn't a whale, said Elytra. You let us handle that, said Claire. The truck continues driving then it slows down. Claire, look at this, said Thomas. All 7 look out the windows then see a tractor trailer upside down. That thing did this, said Brandon. It's a lot stronger than I thought, said Elytra. Just find that creature, said Claire. The truck drives away. The ground starts thumping. The Tridonmimus appears walking, sees a swimming pool, approaches it then drinks the water. A cat appears walking then rubs against the Tridonmimus's leg. The back door of the house opens. Here Negan, where are you, ya stupid cat? The cat approaches man number 2. There you are. Mommy was upset. I wasn't. Because I don't care for you, ya damn cat. What the hell is that? Is this saliva? Asked man number 2. A snarling sound comes from the front of man number 2. Man number 2 looks up then sees the Tridonmimus. The cat runs away. The Tridonmimus is staring at man number 2. Man number 2 gasps. The Tridonmimus eats man number 2. The cat runs inside of the house. Claire looks out the passenger window. Tom, stop the truck. I want to see something, said Claire. The van doors open. You 4 stay there, said Megan. Both Claire and Thomas walk towards the swimming pool then see the blood. It was definitely here, said Thomas. Yes it was. Bring Elytra to me, said Claire. Thomas walks towards the truck. Elytra, Claire wants a word, said Thomas. Elytra gets out of the truck then walks towards Claire. What? Asked Elytra. Since you created this creature. I never asked. What is this thing? Asked Claire. A creature, said Elytra. Claire smiles then hits Elytra. Hey, said Brandon. Megan points her handgun. What is it, Doc? Come on, tell me. Before more people end up dead, said Claire. It's a hybrid, said Elytra. Of what? A Tyrannosaurus Rex and a raptor, asked Claire. No, a Trudon and a Suchomimus, said Elytra. What is a Trudon and a Suchomimus? Asked Thomas. Two prehistoric dinosaurs. A Suchomimus is a 12-foot carnivore. The Trudon is a 3-foot carnivore. Both together form the Trodonmimus, said Elytra. How do we find this thing? Asked Claire. Well, the Suchomimus is probably in control. Because it's an apex predator. So, you'd need to find food, said Elytra. What kind of food? Asked Claire. Any kind, said Elytra. Megan looks out the truck bed. Miles reaches for the gun on the truck floor. Megan looks back at Miles then raises her handgun. Don't think about it, said Megan. Miles moves the handgun. The handgun fires. All three look back at the truck. Megan falls out of the truck bed. Miles points the gun. Don't move, Elytra, come on, said Miles. You can't leave us here, said Claire. Watch us, said Miles. Elytra walks towards the truck then gets inside it. The truck door shuts then it drives away. Great, now what? Asked Megan. We'll follow them. Elytra will go find her creature, said Claire. The truck continues driving. All right, what do we do? Asked Brett. Find my creature and try to get it back to the garage, said Elytra. That'll be a lot harder than saying it, said Brandon. Definitely. Where would it be, Elytra? Asked Miles. Well, it's almost rush hour. Probably on the street, said Elytra. Traffic appears. Yes, I can hear you. I don't know why she didn't show up yet. It's not my fault she has a bratty kid. And a bitchy attitude. Well then fire her if she doesn't show up in 5 minutes. The cell phone gets hung up. Damn people. Do their jobs. People appear running past the cars. Man number 3 sees the people running. What the hell is going on? Asked man number 3 looking into the rearview mirror. The Trodonmimus appears. Man number 3 ducks down. The Trodonmimus appears next to man number 3's car then snarls. Man number 3 screams. People continue running. The ruck stops. People run past the truck. I think we found it, said Brandon. The Trodonmimus roars. People are screaming in the distance. What do we do? Asked Brett. We need to get its attention. Maybe with some food, said Elytra. That's kinda hard. Where do you shop for a creature? Asked Brett. I'll get into the truck bed. Drive like hell, said Miles getting out of the truck then jumping into the truck bed. The truck turns around. The horn starts honking. The Trodonmimus looks up then sees Miles. Miles is waving. The Trodonmimus roars. The truck starts driving away. The Trodonmimus chases the truck, throws woman number 3 from its mouth then it roars again. It's getting closer, said Brandon. The Trodonmimus swings its right arm. Miles ducks. Miles, are you all right? Asked Elytra. Yeah, just keep driving, faster, said Miles. The truck speeds up. Turn, said Brandon. The truck turns down a street. The Trodonmimus breaks through the corner of a building then it roars. Keep driving faster, said Miles. I have it down to the floor, said Elytra. The Trodonmimus goes to bite Miles. The truck turns. The Trodonmimus misses then falls onto the ground. It fell, said Brett laughing. The truck stops. Keep going, said Brandon. We need it to follow us, said Elytra. The Trodonmimus stands up, looks at the truck then it roars. The truck starts driving away again. The Trodonmimus is chasing the truck. Miles grabs a gun then points it at the Trodonmimus. I'm gonna wound it, said Miles. A van rams into the truck. Miles falls out of the truck bed. The truck goes into a building. The van doors open. All three are pointing their guns. Don't move, said Claire cocking her gun. Miles is groaning. A snarling sound comes from the front of Miles. Miles looks up then sees the Trodonmimus. You want some of me, fine. But I'll take a piece of you too, said Miles pointing his gun. The gun continuously fires. All 6 look back. Miles, yelled Elytra. The Trodonmimus bites Miles. Miles is screaming. Get into the van, said Claire. All 6 get into the van. The van drives away. The Trodonmimus roars. So Elytra, got any ideas to capture this thing? Asked Claire. Yeah, why don't you wrap yourself with meat and sleeping chemicals in it? Then let the Trodonmimus eat you, said Elytra. Claire smiles. Wait, that sounds like a great idea, said Brandon. Shut up, said Claire. No, I don't mean to use an actual person. Make like a dummy with meat with sleeping chemicals in it, said Brandon. That's not a bad idea, said Elytra. Looks like we need a butcher, said Claire. The van stops, then the doors open. All 6 are running inside of a building. We need something to hold the meat onto, said Brett. Brett sees a frame. I found something, said Brett. A piece of meat is being placed onto the frame. A meat frame is being pushed into the middle of the street. All right, now we wait, said Claire. The ground starts thumping. The Tridonmimus appears down the street, then it sees the meat frame. Here we go, said Brett. You did put the sleeping chemicals onto it, right? Asked Elytra. Nope, said Claire. The tranquilizer guns are being cocked. The Tridonmimus approaches the meat frame, then sniffs it. All 3 are pointing their tranquilizer guns. Come on, eat it already, said Thomas. The Tridonmimus looks to its right, sees all 6 of them, then looks back at the meat frame. It's not taking it, said Megan. It knows, said Elytra. What do you mean it knows? Asked Claire. The Suchomimus is an intelligent dinosaur. Smarter than the Tyrannosaurus Rex, said Elytra. Fine, it won't take the bait. I ain't waiting, said Thomas, stepping forward, then fires his tranquilizer gun. The Tridonmimus snarls, then runs away. Thomas chases the Tridonmimus. Tom, yelled Claire. Footsteps are running. Thomas points his tranquilizer gun, then looks around. Where'd you go, you bastard? A thudding sound comes from the distance. Thomas runs towards the thudding sound, turns the corner, then points his tranquilizer gun. Where are you? Come out, come on. Are you scared? That's it, ain't it? A shadow appears behind Thomas. Thomas turns around, then fires his tranquilizer gun. Megan gasps, then falls onto the ground. Oh no, Megan, said Thomas, kneeling next to Megan. Megan opens her eyes. Tom, whispered Megan. I'm here, Megan. Let me get you back, said Thomas, picking Megan up, then walks around the corner. The Tridonmimus appears, then lunges at Thomas. Blood splatters onto the wall of the building. Footsteps are walking, then they stop. All 4 see the blood on the wall of the building. Oh God, said Elytra. My team is gone. What do we do? Seriously, how do I capture this thing? Asked Claire. You still think you could capture this thing? Asked Elytra. Yeah, that thing needs to be killed, said Brandon. We can't kill that thing. That's my money maker. I know you don't understand business. But, that thing is getting captured alive, said Claire. A roaring sound comes from the distance. All 4 look down the street. The ground starts thumping. All 4 are slowly walking backwards. The ground stops thumping. Where is it? Asked Brett. I don't know, said Elytra. Saliva lands onto Brett's head. Oh God, said Brett. All 4 look up. The Tridonmimus appears, then goes to bite Brett. Claire points her tranquilizer gun, then fires it. A tranquilizer dart goes into the Tridonmimus's neck. The Tridonmimus roars. All 4 start running. Keep running, said Elytra. Claire continuously fires her tranquilizer gun. The tranquilizer gun clicks. Damn it, said Claire, throwing the tranquilizer gun. All 4 run around the corner. The Tridonmimus goes to bite Claire, then it misses. A construction site appears. All 4 continue running, then hide behind a trailer. What do we do? Whispered Brandon. I don't know, said Elytra. We need a bazooka or an explosive, said Claire. Brandon looks up, then sees the crane. Wait, that crane. If we get control of that thing. Lure the creature into the frame. Break the frame. It'll get crushed, said Brandon. Good idea, said Brett. The ground starts thumping. The Tridonmimus appears, looking around. How do we get to the machine? Asked Elytra. You let me handle that, said Claire, stepping out from behind the trailer, then fires her handgun. The Tridonmimus roars. Brett, you go. You know how to handle the crane, said Brandon. Both Elytra and Brett are running. The Tridonmimus goes to bite Claire. Brandon moves Claire. The Tridonmimus looks down, then sees both Brandon and Claire. Run, said Claire. Both Brandon and Claire start running. The Tridonmimus chases both Brandon and Claire. Both Elytra and Brett get into the machine. You know what to do? Asked Elytra. Definitely, said Brett. Both Brandon and Claire run underneath the frame. The Tridonmimus goes to bite both Brandon and Claire. It falls, then crawls underneath the frame. It's right behind us, said Brandon. Just keep running, said Claire. Both Brandon and Claire get to a fence. Shit, said Brandon. Climb over, said Claire. Brandon starts climbing over the fence. Claire fires her handgun. The Tridonmimus is crawling closer. Hurry, Brett, said Elytra. Are they out? Asked Brett. Yes, do it now, said Elytra. The crane turns, then it breaks the frame. The frame slowly falls. Brandon gets over the fence. Claire, come on, said Brandon. Get out of here, now, said Claire. The Tridonmimus getting closer to Claire, then snaps at her. Claire leans against the fence, then looks up. The frame collapses. Smoke appears. Both Elytra and Brett are coughing. Let's go, said Elytra. Both Elytra and Brett are running. Brandon, Brandon, yelled Brett. Claire, Claire, yelled Elytra. The smoke is slowly clearing. Coughing in the distance. Brandon appears. Brandon, said Brett, running towards Brandon, then hugs him. Yeah, I'm alive, said Brandon. Great to see you. Did you see Claire? Asked Elytra. She was on the other side of the fence. I'm not sure if she made it or not, said Brandon. All three are walking, then see blood on the ground. Claire's arm appears underneath the frame. Claire, said Elytra. A low snarling sound comes from the distance. All three look at the rubble, then see the Tridonmimus's eye underneath the frame. The Tridonmimus snarls lowly again, then closes its eye. It's dead, said Brandon. Thank God, said Brett. Let's get out of here, said Elytra. Oh Brett, by the way, don't ever tell me to go on to another interview again. I'll get my own from now on, said Brandon. Deal, said Brett. The garage building appears. A nest appears full of eggs. An egg starts hatching. A low snarling echoes. The end.